You got to tune to Wop Up on KEXP 90.3 Seattle, live on the web at KEXP.org. I'm Darek, Mazzone, your DJ and host, back. And I want to thank DJ Wilmore for covering for me last week. I am rested, relaxed, mildly tanned, and it's with great pleasure that I've got Seattle's own, the Polyrhythmics, in the studio tonight. Live in studio. It's going to get funky, guys. Thanks for being here, and we'd love to hear some music. Polyrhythmics live in the studios at KEXP with La Hustle. I love the tracks, the track titles you guys have. You got Ben Bloom on guitars, Grant Schroff on drums, Nathan Spicer on keys, Lalo Bello on percussion, Jason Gray on trumpet, Elijah Clark on trombone. No?
Scott Morning on trumpet.
Scott Morning on trumpet. Sorry, my bad. And Art Brown on sax and flute. You guys play in a bunch of different bands. So you're part of this. You're part of this crew that are great musicians, and you work with different kinds of styles. This is like a Latin Afro beat. Tell me a little bit about the history of this band. Like, how did you guys come together, and how do you stay together?
The latter will be a little bit more difficult to describe, but we came together about 3 years ago on a concept that sort of Grant, our drummer, and myself were sort of having independently, and of wanting to put together a large project, large ensemble playing Afrobeat and sort of modern polyrhythmic funk music. Mm-hmm. And we didn't really want to be a tribute band, a Fela Kuti tribute band or anything like that, but obviously stemming from influences such as that, and also bringing in more modern influences, everything from deep funk stuff like the JBs and James Brown and all that stuff to bands like the Talking Heads and Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson and all kinds of other things that all kind of embody sort of polyrhythmic funk music. And we put the group together as a recording project. We recorded an EP after 2 rehearsals that was very well received. We put out a few 45s. We sold out of the EP quickly, and we were like, wow, maybe this group has legs. So everybody, of course, was working in different projects and is still working in different projects, but the cohesion that happened on that recording session and some of the things that transpired after that with the live shows and people coming out to the live shows, which is always a surprise, when you have a new band and you see folks in the audience. That's always great. Kind of led us to really decided to give this a go, and we've been continually writing music and recording music since then, and taking the steps to take the music all over the country and hopefully the world.
So you're going to be touring?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of people. Right on.
Yeah.
Best of luck. I love that. Love having you here. You got a show happening on Saturday, the 23rd at Numos.
That's correct.
Which is awesome, and that you've got a single at 45, actual vinyl 45. You need the little, what are those things called? The middle,
the little hole,
the little player, and the
piece.
Hole, the piece. Let me know whatever that is. On Kept Records, single release next week, which we're going to hear a little bit later on. But love to hear some more music. First off, congratulations for doing this. When you think of Seattle, you don't think of the sound, so it's great that you guys are doing it, and you're tight, which is great. It's not like stoner. I'm just going to be like working off. This is really, really great. Not there's anything wrong with that, but it's just nice to hear this in a tight way. So please, Polyrhythmics live in the studios on Wopop on KEXP. Okay, for real now? Sorry about that. I felt like that really cheesy DJ in like 1944 over the Charlie Parker records. Just kept talking and talking and talking. My bad. That was great. El Fuego, Polyrhythmics, playing live at Numos on February 23rd. The new record is out next week on KEXP Records. It's an actual 45. Once again, I have to repeat myself. You guys are tight. How does the songwriting process work with you guys? You jam and something happens, or?
You know, it's really, we rarely jam, actually, surprisingly. Usually a lot of the members of the band write music in this project. So Scott Morning, our trumpet player, writes a lot of complete tunes. Grant Schroff, our drummer, writes a lot of complete tunes, start to finish. I write a lot of tunes in collaboration with Scott, where I'll bring in a groove or a set of pieces to the tune, and Scott will arrange a horn arrangement or something like that. But because of a band this size, it's very difficult to get together to jam, you know, so our time has to be sort of productive. And what's nice is that everybody is sort of in this sort of fury of writing music and influenced by the communities that we play in, and are always bringing fresh material. We have a large backlog of stuff that we need to get to, actually. Okay. So it's pretty pleasurable, and it's a real treat to be a part of a group like this with so many dynamic music writers.
That's awesome. So there's interest in this sound. You got bands like anytime the Cooties come to town, there's a big turnout. Antibalas, Budo's band, Dap Kings, and so there's this collective sound that's permeating for a long time. Any of that sound was just like nerds like myself were like, oh, check out these old Nigerian records. But it's popping up, and you got Vampire Weekend and Fool's Gold, so it seems to be moving through. Are you guys looking to maybe like incorporate other aspects to this? Do you like the way it sounds right now? Are you thinking about a vocalist or some other things that, like, you know, a promoter will be like, okay, I know how to work this? Because instrumental bands have a hard time. You know, I love playing them, but you guys, you know, there are people always saying like, where's the singer? So how do you guys deal with that? Do you deal with that?
People are always saying that to us, actually. It's interesting. You know, we have been, from the beginning, this project, again, was started as a recording project, and we wanted to make recordings that, you know, the music could live on record and be played in whichever way people wanted to. And then we started playing some live shows and realized that people were coming out to these shows and dancing and really having a great time, and there was no lyrics. And so we kind of took it more as a challenge of ourselves to write creative arrangements and tunes that will keep the audience interested, but also not mess with the dancers too much, so that they can really enjoy themselves, kind of like a DJ would.
Yeah.
And that approach has gotten us pretty far. We've done a bit of touring, and we've managed to draw in some nice sized crowds. But it is something that is constantly coming up, and I think that this project is still very new, and I think we're open to all possibilities of writing and collaborating with other artists, and we have a really good time playing with ourselves, and so it's kind of difficult to think of like the one dream person that would come and fit right into this mix. Gotcha. But I think we're all pretty open to just about anything.
Awesome.
When it comes to music, as long as it's funky.
And when you're touring, when you tell people you're from Seattle and then you start playing, do people go like, what?
Out there in the world, Seattle does have an interesting reputation, you know, and it's very similar to the reputation that it had when I first moved here from Boston in 2001, which was that it's rainy, nothing good happens here, you know. What about grunge? You know, you get that everywhere you go, and you're like, come on, man. But I don't know. Like I feel that the Seattle music community is very vibrant. We're lucky to be out there, sort of representing it a little bit to the rest of the world, because I think there's a lot for people to see here, and to people to, if they can maybe remove a little bit of their blinders and kind of open up their eyes to sort of what's possible, and maybe visit Seattle for a weekend. I think they're going to find that it's probably one of the most vibrant music scenes out there right now that we've seen.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Polyrhythmics, live in the studios on Wopop on KEXP 90.3 in Seattle. Once again, they're playing live at Numos on Saturday the 23rd, and the new record is out next week, actual 45 on KEXP Records. Please play some more music.
All right, this tune's called Pupusa Strut.
From Seattle, Polyrhythmics, playing live on Saturday the 23rd at Nemo's Pupusa Strut. So where's your favorite Pupusa place in Seattle?
Well, a lot of us live in West Seattle, right down by White Center. And there's a very, very nice Pupusa stop on Roxbury there that we like. I'm sure it's pretty well known in the Seattle community, but the El Salvadorian bakery there on Roxbury, it's very delicious. And it makes you strut in a certain way after you eat it. And this tune represents that thought.
Perfect. Where are you guys, when you're touring, where are you guys going to go? What's planned so far?
So we've done quite a bit of touring down the West Coast, Oregon, California, mostly Northern California, and we're headed for our first tour in March out to the Rockies. We're going to go down to San Francisco and play some shows down there with the Monophonics, and then head east and play our own group of shows in the Denver area and Colorado, and travel north through the Rocky Mountain West to end up at the Tree Fort Festival in Boise, Idaho, and then home.
Perfect. You guys will do well. Have you thought about East Coast? You guys will do well in Boston and New York, and there's quite. Is it just the cost of getting everything and everybody down there?
It is, and we have a lot of people listening in those cities right now. So hello, Boston and New York. We'll be there soon. Don't worry. Yeah, we just it's just a matter of doing things in a smart way. With this many individuals, it is expensive to tour, and we've been trying to bite off little chunks and try to do things as smart as possible. But we will make it to the East Coast. That's for sure.
Perfect. Polyrhythmics live in the studios on Wopop on KEXP. I've been dying to hear this, and the link was sent to me, but I was on vacation. I was like, I'm not going to open up a laptop. I'm sorry. So the track is called Bobo, and the single is an actual 45 released on Kept Records and just coming out next week. Polyrhythmics live in the studios, KEXP 90.3 Seattle. Wopop. Gentlemen, that was epic. Wow, you should license that for some detective movie set in Bollywood. That's like, wow, that's definitely the single. It's out next week on KEXP Records. It's called Bobo. You guys are playing at Neumos on the 23rd. I think it's the 5th time I've said that to everybody.
Thank you for saying it so many times.
Either way, playing Neumos Saturday the 23rd. Polyrhythmics, thanks for coming in. Please come back again.
Yes, sir.
Really appreciate it. I want to thank Scott, Justin, Tyler, the amazing Kevin Suggs, and Julieta for manning the board. This is Wopop, KEXP 90.3 Seattle. Oh yeah, I'm Darek Mazzone. Thanks for tuning in.